Welcome to the Stafford Excellence EdTalks, where we celebrate the brilliance and excellence of our Stafford County Public School educators and all. Today, we have an absolute treat for you to get to know Courtney Nunnally, a fifth grade teacher at Widewater Elementary School. I have been so excited for this Ed Talk today. Courtney, welcome to the Stafford Excellence EdTalks.
Thank you for that awesome introduction. I'm excited to be here too. I definitely am.
Awesome. So before we get going, I do just want to remind our viewers kind of the format of our Ed Talk for today. It's really divided into three parts. Your story, Courtney, then your excellence, and then some of your thoughts dealing with student engagement specifically at this time of year. So, Courtney, are you ready for your Stafford Excellence Ed Talk?
I definitely am.
Okay, let's go. So, starting off, if you'd like to just kind of tell a little bit of your story, who you are, where you teach, what brought you to Stafford County Schools?
What brought me to Stafford County Schools was marriage, Kristen McKinney Nash, and also my love for teaching. If I were to explain that, I'd probably say that my wife, she ended up working in Dahlgren. And Dahlgren is not exactly close to Stafford in any way, shape, or form, but she was living in Fredericksburg. And right before we got married, she moved. And she said, come on up here. And, there's a job fair. You should go ahead and check it out. And I said, okay, all right, I'll come on up. I was working in Norfolk at the time. And I came up and went to an interview and enjoyed it. It was nice. They told me that they would talk to me later, and basically they were interested in me. And before I could leave, this very tiny woman came up to me with a big smile, and she said that basically her people at her table had told her that they talked to me and that they liked me and they liked my energy, and they thought we'd be a good fit for this school and for this district. So she made me wait until my wife came so that she could actually talk to my wife as well.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
discuss coming to interview the school. The reason why I say this is because Kristen McKinney Nash is responsible for a lot of people's growth and also their excellence. And she's a person who really poured into myself and many of my colleagues. And when I came for an interview, one of the things that stuck out to me is that she wanted me to interview the school. She had nothing to hide, 100%. She wanted me to see the joy that was Widewater. She wanted me to see the excellence that's Stafford. And I saw it. I saw parents in the building. I saw kids that were actually happy and learning. And not everybody was doing the same thing. Everybody had creative rights when they were teaching. They were able to do stuff in a different way.
Sure.
And the staff actually seemed happy to be here. So it was one of those things that it was kind of a no-brainer. Once I went ahead and sat down for the interview, I was like, I think I'm going to come up to Stafford. So
That is awesome. It is so important. I love how she allowed you to kind of, like you said, interview the school,
yes.
and to find that perfect match in terms of the joy, the happiness, the teacher autonomy, all those amazing things, the family involvement, which are so key. So going off script a little bit based on that, we all have folks along the way who kind of help us out, who kind of mentor us, who inspire us. Why did you get into teaching, Courtney? Were you inspired by someone? Was there something else? Why are you a teacher today?
So a couple things. One, if you asked me in like elementary school, middle school, high school, teaching was not on the list of things that I wanted to do. And it wasn't a list of things that I didn't want to do. It was more so a matter of I always knew I wanted to work with kids. I always knew that I wanted to make a difference in some way, shape, or form. At the time, I was really into video games, and I thought about the possibility of designing educational video games that would actually be fun, kind of like choose your own adventure, but more so a matter of them going along the lines with history and whatnot, and also incorporating science. I knew nothing about programming video games or anything like that, but I did know that I also loved literature, and I love to write. I love to perform poetry, and I ended up getting into a program at Hampton University that it led me in the direction of education. When I got to Norfolk State University, I actually was going to change lanes for a second, and I still wanted to help kids, but I was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to make a big enough impact, and I was actually going to go into social work. And
Okay.
along there, when I was getting ready to change the major, I was encouraged by a mentor to take a class, see how it fit, right, but not to leave. And I'm glad that I didn't. His name is Lonnie Bonham. He's one of Norfolk's best treasures,
Yeah.
and he's ushered a lot of young men and women in the right direction, and whether it's education or anything else. But no, I would say Lonnie Bonham is definitely the individual who kept me spearing towards education, and yeah, he really taught me what it meant to be an impactful educator.
Okay, that is awesome. Sometimes it just takes that one person to kind of put a little thought in your mind, like, "Hey, have you ever thought about this?" or kind of push you in that direction. I know that your students and families at Widewater are super grateful to him, because you're now a teacher, and you're a teacher at Widewater. And every time I'm at Widewater, Courtney, from the time that I was teaching, since I've known you, I know that your kids just absolutely hang on your every word. Like, you are the teacher, okay?
Well, I'm going to tell you that means a lot coming from you because I've been inside of your classroom. I have seen the bicycles on the wall and all the creative stuff. Yeah.
But hey, and the thing is, that's why you are Stafford County Excellence, Courtney. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So, would you be willing to share a best practice or an innovation, something your students, those fifth graders at Widewater Elementary, love beyond belief, about your classroom?
Um, I would definitely say it can't just be one thing, but the initial part would be the daily character development.
Okay.
I think that what sets my classroom apart from a different experience that they may have had before they came in is that we really take time to build character, understanding that I can only do academically what I can do with you at this time, right? Um, but the exponential amount of character growth and development that I've seen when a child comes in versus when they leave,
Mm.
or what I see when they come back to visit years later, is it's spectacular. Every single day we take time to unpack a quote, to unpack a saying or a video that has no words whatsoever, but it has meaning in terms of what it is that we're trying to do as humans. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in the curriculum that
Mm.
we forget that you can be as well informed or as well versed in a subject as you want to be, but if you're not a decent human being, if you're not somebody who has knowledge of self and purpose, um, then it makes your journey that much more difficult. And a lot of kids, I think they really do benefit from that positive moment in the morning when we stop and we talk about our why, we talk about our purpose. To sum it up, I definitely feel like that's one of the best things
Mm.
is us doing development time. That character development time, it doesn't just help them; it actually helps me. And there'll be times where I come in the morning and I'm not 100%. I'm tired.
Sure.
I've got two kids at home. I've got a wife at home, and I've got my own life. I've got my mom, and we've got a lot of things going on as educators. And sometimes it's really important to take time to
Mm.
invest in positivity, and that's what I try and push into my kids. Where yeah, you might have a lot going on, but you know what? You woke up this morning, and there's plenty waiting for you that's going to be awesome. You just have to go out and get it. You just have to make sure that you create opportunities for yourself to be happy. You know.
Wow. That's powerful, and I love how you model that for them. Like you said, as a teacher, we also have a lot, right? And so we need to take that time before we can get to the math, the reading, the sciences, or the social studies, because we're all human first.
Yes.
So that's number one. That's what makes you Stafford County Excellence, Courtney. I also heard, I didn't ask you about this prior, but I'm gonna throw it out there, that you write a lot of songs.
I do. I definitely do. I think that's one of the fun things they enjoy as well. So whenever we have a different topic and whatnot, I try to find ways to make it a little bit more when I was a kid, teachers were kind of boring. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I know I'm a teacher who happens to actually have ADHD, and I've dealt with it since I was a kid. And it's not something that has me. It's something that
Mm,
I've learned to deal with over the years. It's something that I've learned how to um, function with. And it's nice that when it comes down to teaching, I don't have to do things that bore me or that bore a child in the classroom who might not learn a certain way.
sure.
So we get an opportunity to kind of step outside of textbooks and step outside of the computers and everything else, and we get a chance to have a little bit of fun. So we definitely have lots and lots of songs. Yeah, lots and lots of songs. I think like my mean median mode
Yes.
song is probably my favorite. And then we also have like a rock cycle song that we've done that's been a whole lot of fun. So,
Okay. Can we hear a little bit of the mean medium mode, or is that not for today?
so if I do the mean median mode song, you have to actually participate. So you have to be the call and response. That's the only way it's going to work, though.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So at the top of your lungs, you have to give it. So you repeat after me. Everything I say. You ready? All
Okay,
right.
I'm
So
ready.
when you say it, you got to say it with your chest. You got to make sure that your energy's right.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
right.
So mode.
Mode.
We say mode. We say mode. We say mode.
We say mode. We say mode. We say mode.
The mode is the number that you see the most.
The mode is the number that you see the most.
Million.
Mean.
No.
Oh, is that?
Million.
Oh, median. I'm sorry. Median.
Median. Median. Median.
Median. Median. Median.
The median is the number in the middle.
The median is the number in the middle.
Range.
Right.
You got to reach down deeper, Dan.
People in my office are gonna be like, "What?" Okay, let me
That's
try.
okay. That's part of it. My favorite thing to do is to tell them to go ahead and disturb the classroom next to us. And Miss Cybert can't stand it, but she loves it. All
Okay,
right, you ready? We're almost done. No, we're gonna finish.
okay, I'm ready.
Range.
Range.
We say range. We say range. We say range.
We say range. We say range. We say range.
Subtract the least from the greatest, and you get the range.
Subtract the least from the greatest, and you get the range.
Got it the first time, okay. And then one more. Mean.
Mean.
You don't look mean enough. You have to look mean when you do it. If you're not looking mean, it doesn't work. You ready?
Okay.
All right, you ready? All right,
I'm ready.
ready for the mean face. Mean.
Mean.
Oh, there we go. We say mean, we say mean, we say mean.
We say mean. We say mean. We say mean.
It's a difficult one. Divide the sum of the numbers by the number in the set.
Divide the sum of the numbers by the sum number in the set.
And that gets the kids every time. Here we go. All right, divide the sum of the numbers
Divide the sum of the numbers
by the number in the set.
by the number in the set.
Now we got to go fast. Divide the sum of the numbers by the number in the set.
Divide the sum of the numbers by the number in the set.
Real slow. Divide the sum of the numbers by the number in the set.
Divide the sum of the numbers by the number in the set.
Anyway, we have a whole lot of fun with it.
Oh, that's
This
awesome.
year, so like in the previous years, my team, they'll let me actually come in and commandeer their class for a second, and
Wow.
I get to be ridiculous and sing with their kids, and it's a lot of fun. And this year, I attempted to make a video instead. So I made a video for it so that they could watch it in their classroom without us losing time and me popping in constantly. So that's what they've been
Wow.
using.
Awesome. That is awesome. And you know what? Your students are going, you were talking about character earlier. They come back. I bet they'll come back when they graduate high school and beyond and remember those songs. They will. And I bet in middle and high school, they're probably singing them to their teachers.
I
Like,
hope
"Oh,
so.
Mr. Nunnally, tell me this."
I hope so.
That is just awesome. Oh my goodness. I want to be a student in your class. So I mean, the next part we were going to talk about, Courtney, was student engagement, basically your thoughts. And I'm thinking about everything that we just did. That's one huge example of student engagement. Do you have anything else? This time of year, coming back from break, we're starting the second semester. We're in kind of the middle of winter. Routines have been set. How do you get your students rocking and rolling?
Um, I definitely, I'm going to say it like this. It's not an easy task when we come back from break because we have to remember as educators that our students, they could be coming back from a great experience. They could be coming back from something that was stressful. They could be coming back and dreading it because maybe they didn't feel as though they were at their best prior to, them leaving. So
Hmm.
when they're coming back in, they almost forget, hey, look, you know what? All bets are off. You're allowed to make mistakes here.
Yeah.
The key is actually trying. And it's a constant reminder of, did you try today? Are you better when you go to sleep than you were when you woke up? If you're like that every single day, just a little bit, just a smidgen, then we're good. And we remind them, like, look, you can't move mountains in a day. You do it a rock at a time, a stone at a time, whatever it takes. And eventually you'll look and you'll be like, well, when did that happen? Over time. And it just takes some practice. That's all. So I think that's one of the things we have to do. And also giving a little bit of giving grace to kids when they come back. The same way that teachers were enjoying their off time, I was enjoying playing my guitar badly in my basement. You know, kids come back and they're like, I wasn't ready yet. I was still playing video games. So
Yeah.
was Mr. Nunnally. I was playing video games too. So
I love that piece, extending grace to kids. I think sometimes when we're in the routines and just going, sometimes it's easy to forget that. Um, extending that grace. So we have the final three phrases. So this part of the Ed Talk, Courtney, I start a phrase and then I ask you to complete it. Okay. So the first phrase that I have is the thing I love the most about teaching is.
the unseen harvest.
Oh,
Um, there's everything you see, right? That you get to experience with students during the daytime, and then there's what they take with them. Um, I was at a restaurant in downtown Fred yesterday with my wife, and it was I can't remember what it's called. It's at the little Mexican restaurant right there on the corner. It's a
yeah.
lovely little place, and I ran into a student that I did not specifically have, but one of my teammates had, and apparently the child had a good interaction with me, and I ran into her at the restaurant, and she talked to extent about how much she appreciated the experience she had here,
Wow.
and that to me is an unseen harvest.
Mm,
We don't often get to see what happens or what becomes of our kids, and if we get an opportunity to see those things, to see that what they care about themselves now, they've grown in this way, that, or the other, or they have some academic growth, and I hear some things, and when I hear them, I'm just like, man, that's awesome. So like that, the possibilities of what it is that kids end up doing when they leave here. The number of times where I've been like, oh, yeah, my cousin had you, and they're at this university now. They're doing that, or they decided that this was the path for them, and they're happy. And I'm just like, oh, that's great. And they're like, they wanted me to tell you that,
wow.
they really appreciated this or that, and I'm like, wow. The fact that I could be like one moment or one piece
Hmm.
of joy in their life for just 1 second, that's pretty cool. And I feel like that's something that video game designing would not have gotten me. Sure, the zeros would have been nice, but it wouldn't have given me that same impact or connection with so many humans. And I feel like when somebody leaves you and they're positive, they're going to have an effect on somebody else. There's a ripple effect. There's no way that when kids are leaving and the last thing that you say every day is, all right, be good to your family, be great, love yourself, every single day. You hear that for 180 days, and you're going to start being good to your family. You're going to start
Yeah.
loving yourself. You're going to start trying to be great, you know? And I feel like that's the unseen harvest, and I have to mention this. There is one other person. You asked me earlier about the reason why I became a teacher and stuff
Sure.
like that. And um, there's a gentleman in New Jersey named Mr. Wu. He is now a principal, I think, at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. Mr. Wu, he is, I don't think he realized the impact that he had on me at the time. A lot of teachers they had written me off. I had
Yeah.
ADHD. My attention span was awful. I was constantly forgetting stuff all the time. I really was trying, but nobody saw it. The fact that I was sitting up late night trying to work on my homework, or the fact that sometimes I'd have to go with my mom to her job or one of her jobs to go and do my homework there late night. And then the reason why I was tired in class is because I had been up pretty late, you know. And Mr. Wu took time to see me. He took time to listen. He took time to apply the kind of kindness that most people don't really take the time to apply.
Wow.
And that was really important. And I actually got a chance to go back and talk to him, and I
Oh,
called him.
nice.
So,
Oh, that's
but
powerful.
he's a great educator, great human, and I feel like that's what makes a great educator. I mean, I've worked with some great people over here in Widewater,
Hmm.
and I really, when I see great humans, like you can't put a price tag on that.
No.
So,
Wow. Well, in many ways, I think you're his unseen harvest. You know, like you said. I mean, so shout out to Mr. Wu. That's incredible.
he's
Um,
great.
I feel like we could literally show this to folks considering teaching, and you would convince them just in this talk, Courtney. Wow, this is yeah, awesome. So I do have two other statements. Dear first year teacher me, what would you tell yourself?
Uh, okay. Um, be the teacher you needed. Um, lead with compassion. Follow up with purpose, and walk into the classroom like God sent you there. And that's a strong statement. And I don't want it to get mistaken for arrogance. I
No,
feel as though there is purpose in my path, and when I clock out every day, no matter how tired I am, or if there's something that didn't go perfectly that day, I feel like as long as I'm trying, as long as I'm attempting to add value to somebody else's life, um, I'm doing what it is that I was sent here to do. You know, so and hopefully you also do really well on some assessments too.
well, and I think because you're so firmly rooted in your purpose, it's so clear. Every time I see your class, everything you're talking about, I think that is kind of the scene harvest, so to speak, because I know your students are performing just as well
Great,
because of that. Um,
great group.
ah. So this final one, I mean, I could fill this in with 1,000 things just based on this talk alone. But how, Courtney, do you elevate Stafford?
Um, by being a vessel. That's it. I try to be used however it is that I need to be used in whatever capacity. And I try to make sure that whatever it is that I do, um, I follow up with that purpose. And that's really what it boils down to. And I have to rewind really quickly because you were talking about things that felt impactful, right? Or things
Sure.
that were best practices. Um, COVID kind of stopped for a brief moment the leadership or the mentorship program, really a leadership program, but a mentorship program that I had with some colleagues called Growing Up Gentlemen.
Hmm.
And it was one of those things where it wasn't just a mentorship program. It was you were creating leaders. I was able to have those morning talks that I have with everybody in my class, all right, with an entire grade level of young men. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to
Yeah.
that next year. We thought we were going to do it this year, but some things with my mother's health kind of made me take a step back for a
Sure.
moment. But next year, I'm 100% ready to be a vessel and attempt to, you know, take part in that seeding process. You
Sure.
know,
Yeah. And Courtney, it is so obvious, so evident that you are truly Stafford County excellence. I just the 30 minutes we've been talking, my teacher soul has been refilled, knowing um, that there are teachers out there like you doing what you're doing for kids. And, as you say, that harvest is going to be so great. And I think it also goes beyond students. I think other teachers, myself included, look to you as well. And so even this talk alone, I think, in my belief, is going to have a ripple effect. So I really think your teacher leadership extends even beyond the students in your classroom each year and the students at Widewater. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And for everyone listening, I know you're probably like, wow, I just need a second to kind of, just take all this in, maybe watch it again. But you can always check out all of our episodes over on the Stafford Schools YouTube page under the Stafford Excellence EdTalks. And until next time, take care and we'll see you later.